like classic will just be amazing. I forgot just how much there is. We're live, by the way. Hi, guys.
Oh wow.
Oh, jeez.
Go. Are you naked? If not, why not?
Yeah. This is just a green screen shirt on. I have green body paint on right now, so I'm actually naked.
You look so low in your chair, but it's not you. It's me.
Oh, I mean, I could.
No, it's me. I had it cropped
up.
so bad. It was just like your head.
That's all people need to see.
Is this a podcast for tall people? Because I can be on it.
Oh, thank God they're not talking about season of dog shit. I have absolutely zero intentions of talking about anything season of Discovery, unless these boys have got anything they want to briefly touch on. So no.
Yeah. I wanna complain about it really quick. So I was on SOD Monday night, and I was like, all right, I need to get my rank up, my PvP rank. So I'm rank 5, and I've got like a third of the rank to get to rank 6. And I was like, okay, without looking up how the actual system works now, I was like, okay, so it's about 15k honor to get me that first third. I was like, so I'll farm out another 15k honor and get that second third before the reset to like Tuesday. So I sat there for 3 hours, did Arathi Basin. I think we won 5 or 6 in a row. Alliance sucks at Arathi Basin and SOD. I hear they're good at Warsong though. But I got like 18k honor, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm past well past the 15k marker. I logged in Tuesday after the reset, and my bar didn't move. And I was like, well, fuck me. Like, I just got nothing for that 18k honor that I just spent spam queuing ABs for. So yeah, fuck the ranking system in SOD.
Oh, that sucks.
Wait, what rank did you get though? What rank did you end up at?
It's the same thing. Like, I'm still 5 and a third. It didn't move. It didn't budge.
Weird.
Are we saying that's all we're going to talk about with SOD? Like, yeah. Can we look?
That's all we've got. However, we do have an hour-long segment on MOP that Scottejaye wants to have.
Maybe we'll see. I might briefly mention it while we're talking about what we've been up to. But first of all, most importantly, No Hit Jerome. You know you're one of my favourite people in the world. It's great to have you back.
No, it's great to be here. You guys are some of my favorite people, so thank you.
Aw.
Oh, that's sweet. Only some of, not the. I mean, I feel like kind
I
of
don't want
a
to burn
backhanded
bridges.
compliment.
You know, that's how I do it.
We're at
I'm
least
glad
in the
to
top
be here.
10.
I haven't been playing MOP, so I don't feel like I have enough to bring to the table, but do have a lot of Cata takes, so...
Well, that's good, because that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Cata. Let's stop talking about MOP already. Leave it.
You showed me a panda 5 seconds ago. And
I was excited. I wanted to show you my
right?
monk. All right. And that's not a
Right
euphemism.
before the podcast, Scottejaye is rolling through all of his MOP characters. He's got like 5 level 90s. He's been playing 18 hours a day.
Yeah, he's like, this one's full BIS. This one's 2 pieces from BIS.
Shh, they don't need to know what I've been doing, but challenge modes. Yeah, baby. More than just that. More than just challenge modes. But look, we might touch on that when we talk about what we've been up to. But first of all, let's we'll go get the housekeeping out of the way, and then we'll get to see what Jerome's been up to since the last time he was here.
Hell yeah. We have been kind of trying to get out a podcast a week, so keep an eye out on Wednesdays and Saturdays for us to go live with amazing guests, just like Jerome is, and then super chats during the show. If you have any questions, if you want to talk anything about MOP or SOD, super chat's the way to do it, because we're not going to talk about it otherwise, right, Scotty? But if there's any questions about what's coming in phase 1, that's the main topic today, like the ZA, ZG, ZA, ZG patch. If you have any questions about that while we're going over anything, super chat, we'll see it, we'll highlight it on the screen, we'll answer any questions you guys have. I am committing to doing 1 push-up per dollar in the super chats for this stream only. So if you want to see me sweat and make a fool out of myself, that little patch of carpet over there will be my little push-up spot, and you can make me struggle, make me pass out on the floor. It's 98 degrees here, which was I think 36 if you're across the pond. I'm already sweating right now. You might be able to see it. My forehead might start glistening here.
That's the first I've heard of this push-up malarkey.
I think Jerome said he was going to match it.
Well, I'm hoping you both later come to
No.
regret your decisions.
Nah, it'll be fine. We might get $5-10. Keep the show.
I'll get
going.
involved. I can do a push-up. One though, just one.
Just one. Okay.
All right, so we'll have a little catch up with Jerome, a little bit about what we've been up to in Cata or outside of Cata. I know Jerome's been playing a lot of MUP, and then we'll crack on with the main topic, which is phase 2. What's coming in phase 2? Why there's not a lot coming in phase 2 is probably more to the point, and just a bit of general phase 1, how things are going, and take it from there, I suppose.
Yeah, so Jerome, what have you been up to, man? You came out with a video 5 hours ago, top 5 investments for SOD Phase 4. 10 times your gold with these methods. You've got a lot of SOD videos that are out here, so I'm assuming you're in Phase 4 prep for SOD, but I know you've been playing Cata too.
So I've been playing Cata. I get so frustrated. So we're 8 out of 13 in Cata, and I don't handle progression well. Scotty is 13 out of 13. And I see people like him at 13 out of 13, and it fills me with this envy and jealousy. So every time we fail, I get angrier and angrier. And so I start really complaining, and I'm like, I hate this game. I say all sorts of stuff. And so I'm just trying to, keep the positive energy on the YouTube while I descend into madness whenever I stream. So that, at least there's some beacon of light somewhere in my life. Because I like Cata, but I'm not good at progressing without getting angry.
What tunes are you playing? You Druid still, or what?
So I'm a Resto Druid, and again, not to rant here, but it's kind of, you have to really do a very specific rotation, and it's very punishing if you don't do that. And every single wipe, it's usually not related to you as the healer. Like, it's just kind of somebody else does something wrong. So I just keep rolling it back, and then 1 out of every 20 times I make a mistake, and then I get even more angry. So yeah, Resto Druid. I'm thinking about making a Fire Mage though, because it seems like the people loving Cata the most are all playing DPS characters, and I think the healers are the ones going crazy.
Yeah, our raid leader is a healer, and a lot of the fights, like, he might make a mistake and he just apologizes. He's like, sorry guys, like, I'm just looking at so many things right now. Like, I missed a dispel or something like that. It's like, it's all good, man. Like, healers are carrying, I feel like, more so than the DPS. DPS, that's all I've been doing, and I feel like I can just sit back and kind of chill. I don't give a fuck what the tanks are doing. I don't care about the healers. I just get to sit there and pump. Like, I don't have to worry about half the mechanics that those classes do. So
and as a balance druid, you don't even need to worry about pumping, really.
On that note,
you have to battle res people though. That's the thing you do.
Dude, it makes me mad when somebody battle reses and they don't use a res that gives somebody full HP. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, I've got a full HP B res. Like, I'll do it. Like, let me res somebody so they don't fuck up a second time and look like an absolute jackass. Like, let me help them survive.
So I want to be really positive. I think if I was playing a Fire Mage, I would be the happiest Cata player of all time. Like, the Fire Mages, every pull, they're having so much fun. I just need to make a Fire Mage, and I'm going to do it this weekend, and it's going to be great. So I'm no complaints here. I'm just, 8 out of 13, kind of losing my mind a little bit. So that's why the SOD videos.
So what's your favorite? I'm not going to be able to take this seriously while Go's over there doing push-ups in the corner. I just want to put that out there.
Why is he doing push-ups?
He's got to do 10. So he, for some reason, has agreed to do a push-up per $1 super chatted tonight, by the way. I'm just putting it out there. So occasionally,
right,
if somebody super
per
chats, you see him disappear off and do push-ups in the corner, and then I've got to try and keep it going seriously while I can just see that knob down there on the floor.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you said you're 8 out of 13.
Yeah, I think so.
What's your favorite heroic boss so far in Cata?
Archimedes. Maybe Magma. The ones that are easier and don't require like 15 attempts to kill.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Archimedes is fair. Archimedes is a good fight, to be fair. And what one are you actually progressing on at the moment, or are you like trying out different bosses and?
So we're really progging Cho'Gall right now. We skipped right through Council, which is apparently a thing everybody does. So we blew through Council, we still haven't killed Neff. We still haven't killed Alakir either. So those are kind of like, I think we'll do Neff last because I've heard that's like the hardest by far. But I mean, we're working on Cho'Gall right now. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you had
Really out of breath. That one push-up took me out. I don't know. This is a good idea.
You had told me the other day that you were thinking that which raid size was harder? You said that 10 was harder, right?
Yeah, so I have this saying that I might have stolen from someone that in order to succeed in 10-man heroic, you need 10 90 percentile players. In order to succeed in 25-man, you need 25 80 percentile players. So that's kind of where we're at right now. It's like I was doing 10-mans and we merged into another guild because the 10-mans they're just too hard, at least for my skill set. Not Scottejaye's apparently, but
Yeah.
Well, no.
Well,
I mean, but I
maybe
do
next
agree.
phase.
I do agree, and I know there's for me personally, doing both raid sizes of varying different success levels, if you like. You know, I raid in 2 different 25-man teams, 2 different 10-man teams, and the hardest part about 25 heroic is actually getting those 25 80 percentile players. You know, and I know you could say the same about 10-man, don't get me wrong. You could say, well, but getting 10 really good players together is a hell of a lot easier than getting 25 sort of good enough players together, if that makes sense. So I find the mechanics and everything far less punishing on 25. I think the bosses in general, just having more players to have more raid cooldowns, more, you know, is easier. Like, I kind of get bored in 25, if I'm honest, compared to 10. I think on 10, I need to be switched on all the time. In 25, I kind of just sit back and I'm like getting smashed, drinking gin, like, this is face roll, man. And then I die, and I'm like, oh, healers.
Joe,
Oh,
are
wait,
you
I'm the
listening to
healer.
this? Scottejaye saying he's bored when he does 13 out of 13 25 heroics. So he has to
I don't do 13
out
of 13.
10-man.
I don't do 13 of 13 in 25.
That you're just like half asleep it's way too easy for you. Well, my guild is on like poll number 95 of Conclave because every other poll, like somebody falls off or gets hit by a tornado. Yeah, usually me, by the way, not throwing shade at anyone else.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's easy. Like, it's challenging, don't get me wrong, but I think doing both difficult is... I mean, Twins is a prime example. Like, Twin Dragons. On 10-man, it's tight, it's quite healing intensive. Like, even if you're ignoring... Like, well, especially if you're ignoring the portals and just sending a tank down like we do, and then you're going 20... And you're limited on the amount of people. If you've got someone down in the Shadow Realm dealing with the sentries, and then you got, like, a person out with... the debuff, like, I'm talking sort of the second phase when you're fighting Feralion. So you got, let's say, 3 ranged out. The amount of people that can stack to split the meteorite damage is like, there's not many. You can kind of get fucked, and there's like a lot of people taking a few people taking a lot of damage. Whereas in 25, the first time we killed it on 25 heroic, there was probably like 14 people that had no idea what they was doing. But because there was just so many people to split damage on different mechanics, it was like, is this it? You know, like, it didn't feel like everybody needs to turn up and play. Whereas in 10-man heroic, like, we call wipes. One person dies, it's like, fuck it, wipe it, go again. You know, on certain fights. But I think 25-man, in my opinion, is more fun. But
Wait, so Go,
I have
are
more
you
fun
doing
in 25.
25s or 10-man? What about Go?
I'm in
what
the
raid size?
10-man squad. Yeah.
See, we just found that you had to run a really specific comp, especially for something like Neff, where you just couldn't get away with a bunch of random classes. You had to run pretty much the meta. And that it feels really bad to kick people out, and I would have had to kick myself out probably, though the Resto Druid Discord would disagree with me. I mean, there's a lot of Resto Druids at 13 out of 13, but you know what I'm saying. There's like a specific comp that you run. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Like, do you feel like you have to run a specific 10-man?
We didn't have a hunter the first week that I joined this 10-man group, so that made a couple fights interesting, like the one with the oozes and the 3 ads that spawned. Scotty could probably tell me the boss with the burn phase. I think it's the blue, red, and green. Like, what's it called? the different
He's been
transitions.
playing golf,
Meloria.
and I
Are
don't
you talking
remember.
about Meloria?
Meloria.
Yeah, probably Meloria.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, we have a mage, so we had to try to like figure out how to slow all the ads and control them and stuff like that, and especially at the end of the fight, like how to kite them away and how to like just not having an MD. So yeah, not having a hunter felt really strange. Like we had to adapt to it. Like we still downed the fight and everything, but it was interesting to not have that toolkit that a hunter brings for a 10-man.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, there's definitely certain classes in 10-man that you would just say are absolutely required. But, like, obviously I was joking about it on last week's podcast that our feral DPS is the #1 feral on the server. You know, like, he's #1 on Sinestra, #1 on Neff, #1 on Council. But he's also the only feral DPS druid that's killed him. Like, literally, because who runs a feral DPS? You know, in a 10-man, it's not the norm. But yeah, like we took him, he's a good player. Like we knew he was just going to turn up and just do what he's got to do. But yeah, and even enhancement, you know, Majay, who's been on the podcast loads of times, he's enhancement and he's like, oh, I got 100 pass. It's like, you got 100 pass and there's 4 shamans that passed. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that good, is it really? Let's be honest. But
Yeah, I was going through all the like top 50 kills, and there were only like 1 or 2 shamans that I saw on all the links I clicked. And I think the world first kill had a shaman, the world first clear. So enhancement shaman. So everyone's like, well, look, they're viable. But it's like, okay, the best guild in the world had 1 enhancement shaman. I don't know if that means like everyone's gonna start to bring them, but
I think for 25 man, it's all right. But it's like even in like when we're talking 10 man. Because you're just so limited on spots and the amount of buffs and debuffs that you're trying to cover. You know, it's almost like even a rogue. Like, a rogue's fairly pointless in why take a rogue when you can take an unholy DK who's going to do more damage and bring the same buffs, you know, if we're talking assassination rogue. It's a little bit more difficult, I think, when it comes to 10-man. You've got to be a bit more picky. But I mean, we're not now. Like, you know, as I say, last week we had a couple of the main guys that couldn't make it, so we took an unholy DK who hadn't done some of the fights before. We took a feral who hadn't done some of the fights before, and it was still chill. But then you've got those other 7 or 8 people that are just fucking stacked. They've got 4 set heroic weapons. You know, at that point, it kind of don't matter. But I think like some of the bosses on 25 feel more of a clusterfuck. Like Omnitron, as an example. You know, on 25, I've killed it on 25 heroic, killed it on 10 heroic, and on 10 heroic, it just that fight feels quite boring on 10. Whereas on 25, I feel like I am actually having to pay attention. But then there's other fights that are the complete opposite. You know, I think 25 Conclave is a joke compared to 10-man. I think, Twin Dragons is a joke, whereas Council, probably the complete opposite as well. So, it kind of goes both ways, in my opinion, anyway.
it does. But then you have like Neff or like the really, really hard fights, which we haven't gotten to yet. Are they like much harder in 25 man? Much harder in 10 man, right? Like Neff 10 man must be, because I've really never seen anyone do Neff 10 man in any of the streams I watch. They're always stuck.
Yeah, no, I haven't done 25 heroic. I haven't done Neff 25 heroic because, as I say, I raid with like 4 different groups. Obviously killed 10-man heroic, you know, a few times now. I've killed 25 heroic on Whitemane and Apollo as well. So it's quite hard to judge because, you know, you got dampening. They're like, you know, they're private servers. It's not the same thing. But I would probably say Neff 25 is harder than 10. If I'm honest. Like 10-man heroic, you can get away without worrying. We use cooldowns for every crackle, but like in 10-man, you can, as long as you've got half decent gear, you can get away without using any cooldowns on crackles. Like personal cooldowns is enough, especially on the tank and the healer that are out kiting the ads. Whereas in 25 heroic, like that's kind of a no-no. But then you've got 25 people, so you've got a lot more raid cooldowns to use anyway. You know, so it sort of swings and roundabouts, but. No, I would probably say 25 Neff is harder than 10. But 10's very punishing. You lose one person, that's it. It's game over. You might as well just call it a day.
From what I've seen, it's so punishing.
Yeah.
Really, all the fights are on 10 man.
Yeah, I mean, Sinestra's a prime example. Sorry, yeah, go on.
So
I'll make a gin.
Oh, so what I've been up to?
Yeah,
Well,
outside
been
of
looking
Canada.
into some mop servers. Been hearing a lot of things about those. Trying not to die of the heat wave but I've been inside in air conditioning the whole time, so haven't noticed it. Yeah, I mean that's about it.
You got a couple gold farm videos for Cata. Have you been farming any gold recently, or?
So what happened was I spent all my gold, and then I've become kind of the fish feast guy. I don't know if you've ever been the fish feast guy, where you like bring the supplies to the raid, but that's kind of like that's what I farm gold for. It's like that's kind of my mission, my purpose in the raid. It's like I got to bring the fish feast and put them down in the right place. So that's kind of giving me a lot of energy to farm gold. So that's kind of the reason I do any gold farming now.
Our since I'm in a 10-man, our fish feaster this week, yesterday, he was like, I feel like it's not lucrative for me to be bringing these. I think everybody just needs to bring personal food because
Whoa.
it's more cost effective for everybody to bring personal food than for him to drop a feast every wipe.
That's
And I
not
was
the point, though.
I was like, I
point
can
is-
understand that.
The point is that you're helping the group. You're raising morale, you know. It's not about whether it's economical. You know, you might be losing 50 gold, 100 gold, 500 gold a feast. It doesn't matter. You're helping everybody out, so they don't have to bring it. One less thing to worry about, so they perform better.
Yeah, and then somebody had the add-on where, like, right before pool, they do the ready check, and it says, like, missing buffs, and there was, like, 8 out of 10 missing this
Yeah.
buff, and I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, I ran out of feast yesterday, and it just said everyone's missing food buff, and it's like use personals, but I didn't bring any personals, so it's like, yeah, good luck.
I
Let's
mean,
just call the raid now.
I bought 2 stacks of my my int food the first week, and I just got through my first stack because
Wow.
I've been spoiled with the feasts. But I
you've
might
been
farm
doing-
some feasts, farm some fish for feast, so that he can drop them.
So you've been playing Boomkin in 10 mans, right? Is there been any pushback against that? Because I've seen a little like pushback against our Boomkin, but I feel like he
No,
plays
not
really
me.
well, so it doesn't like you know like you can always outperform the stigma against your character, I guess.
Yeah, like it for 10 for our group, it's like bring the player over the class for sure. Because like Ret Pally is top damage a lot of fights, and I'm usually like fighting him for first place. Sometimes I get like third, whatever. But yeah, like me and the Ret Pally, we are in there pumping. And then I mean, I'm not trying to talk shit on anybody else in the raid, but
Sounds like you are.
We're outperforming the other DPS, so you know we're justifying our spot there in the raid. Maybe if we were low performance, then you know they'd be like, hey, you know your class isn't doing so well overall, and you're not performing well. So thanks for raiding with us, but you got to go. That hasn't been the case for me. I've been blasting on the bosses. It feels like, and then like the raid members are whispering me after a boss fight, like, "Yo, dude, you just slapped that last boss." Like Magmaw this week, I was pumping on some Magmaw.
I'm gonna need a confirmation that you got those screenshots. They were like,
Oh, yeah.
"Yo, dude, you were slapping on that boss." I don't know, man. Or do you believe it, Scotty? Do you really think he got these messages?
Yeah, I mean, he probably sent it to himself from a second account. But no, I mean, look, yeah, balance is good. You know, when you look at, I mean, I can put it on screen now. Like when you look at damage to bosses, pass wise, you know, going by what went out today, they look very low. You know, balance, feral, they're both very low. But then when you really look at how close the bars are, you know, how close everyone actually is together when you take Fire Mage and Unholy DK out, being at the bottom, it's still not like, it's not like you're looking at Frost Mage. You know, you can be that low down, but still out DPS a demo lock or whatever, you know, if you're just better or have a better fight. So I think all the classes are in a decent place, if I'm honest. You know, all of those classes that were high up to begin with, obviously I'm experiencing this a lot myself, on a Ret Paladin. You know, not particularly gear dependent. You know, Unholy DK, not particularly gear dependent. I mean, you know, when I say not particularly gear dependent, it's not like, you know, a warrior who needs a big weapon to start pumping. You know, anything that scales really, really well with weapons like that, obviously, is gonna slowly creep up. Whereas, like, I feel like Ret sort of peaked quite early, and every week you look, they're slowly going further and further down as the more gear-dependent classes are actually now getting gear and starting to outperform them. And balance was fairly similar, to be fair. Like, balance weren't right at the bottom to begin with. That's even slowly crept down from sort of middle of the pack down to more the bottom. But yeah, I mean, from what I've seen of different balance druids, they're fine. But as I say, I think it's all very, very close. You've just got those couple of outliers.
I was surprised at how well Unholy was performing, but it does seem like other classes are kind of catching up a little bit at least.
Yeah. And it's going to be very different in Tier 12 as well, because, you know, some classes do a lot better with their set bonuses than others, which I've been looking at a lot today.
Maybe we're going to be talking about that later in the podcast, but I would be curious to see kind of what scales the best in the next phase. Or I suppose Firelands patch.
Yeah, we can have a chat. Phase. No, I mean, next phase is literally, it's just 1.5, yeah. Someone even said it earlier, it's not really phase 2, is it?
1.3.
The overall damage one, instead of like just damage to bosses, like balance was up a lot higher. So it's like if you include the trash damage in there for the raids, you know, if developers are taking all like information together, then it's like, yeah, like balance is a little bit lower on specific boss fights, but
and if you filter out the bosses, it looks even better. It's amazing.
Yeah. Like exclude bosses, only trash. Mushrooms slap, dude. Like, mushrooms are insane. Like, some.
Do you think this is a conversation that no one's going to want to hear, but just 5 seconds. Do you think I should mushroom as a healer? Probably, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the one thing I'm not doing, and I really think I should be doing it.
Yeah, well, you can't get into solar phase, or solar eclipse.
I can still mushroom.
I mean, maybe you can mushroom. I don't know. It probably isn't going to hit that hard.
Why not?
It's off the GTD.
I wouldn't bother.
So you should at least be pre-popping your mushrooms before the fight. Like, of course. Absolutely.
And okay, this is combat. Maybe we could cut this out of the podcast, but that's not going to pull the boss, is it?
No. Yeah, you can place, like, you can CC before pulls, and it doesn't put you in combat. You can place mushrooms underneath the boss.
Okay, because my biggest fear is just like early pull, and then everyone complains, and they're like, "Oh, my pre-pot, my 4 gold, parse."
All right, cool.
I get it.
So, do you want to touch on anything, Go? Have you been up to anything particularly interesting? I feel like Jerome's been just playing too much MUP.
I got my sod rant off of my chest there at the start. I think that's all I've done outside of like raid prog and Cata. I'm still 10 out of 13. We've got 2 more nights this week though for prog. We started Sinestra last night. So we'll probably do all of tomorrow Sinestra prog or something. I don't know what our plan is, but we still have Blackwing Descent to do. So maybe we go there first, try to get some loot, and then hit up Sinestra. And then we got Saturday to clean up whatever we don't get down tomorrow. But I haven't really been doing too much in Cata. I've been kind of trying to play a little bit of SOD for Phase 4 prep. But yeah, we're not talking about SOD, so.
We're not allowed to talk about SOD, but we are allowed to talk about MOP.
Yeah. No, I won't. I won't do it. Me personally, I've obviously been still raiding on Paladin, Mage, Priest, Druid. That's it, really. Raid logging on Cata. Honestly, I'm sort of just at that point where now everything's prep. Like, we're starting on Firelands on Whitemane in the next week or so. I've been, playing Stormforge Season 2. And I'll tell you why. Like, more so than just refreshing my memory and leveling everything to 90 and, you know, getting ready for MUP Classic, as in, you know, content-wise. We had our guild planned on playing Stormforge Season 2, which, for anyone who don't know what I'm talking about, it is a Mr. Pandaria private server. Like, we planned on playing it when it launched, but Season of Discovery launched about 2 weeks after. It was very close. So actually, McNulty was in chat. He went on there and played, and Lee went on there and played. Like, there was like 3 or 4 people that went on there and started leveling characters that weren't interested in SOD, but the rest of us went to SOD. So I sort of felt like I missed out. So we was just having a drink the other night and was like, let's go on there and we'll level a couple of monks. And then me and Chunk leveled a couple of monks. That turned into half the guild creating characters on there. That turned into half the guild now having level 90s, and we've been doing all the pre-raid gearing. You know, we've been like, and now we're raiding on MOP. You know, we're literally starting raiding, just doing like 10 man this week. But yeah, it just kind of sort of progressed that way. But obviously, I'll be playing the next MOP fresh that starts. But I've had a real weird itch the last probably 3 or 4 days for a TBC private server, and it's come from nowhere. But like, I kind of have got a bit of a craving to do a TB, just phase 1. I'm not really bothered past that, but you know, like the whole heroic
Karazhan.
Yeah, I just want Karazhan. Yeah, I'm the same, and I kind of like, I've been looking to see if there's any that are on the horizon, and if there is, I probably will have a few weeks on one. But that's it. Like, yeah, literally, I've just been fucking about on private servers, raid logging on Cata. I've been trying to get into SOD. I'll be honest with you. I've even been trying to convince myself that I want to play it by putting some SOD videos out, and I don't think I can do it. I don't even think I'm going to log in for phase 4. I'll be honest with you.
I had that same Karazhan itch the other day, and I got excited. I was like, in Wrath, I had a couple of homies. We had a squad of level 60s. We turned off our XP. We got geared up, and we did what are the 20-man raids in vanilla. We did ZG and AQ 20 as like a 10 players level 60 in Wrath. And I was like, I might try to see if they're interested in doing a level 70 in Cata and do Karazhan. And then I was thinking, what's the, it starts with an M, the other boss below.
Magtheridon.
Yeah. Magtheridon and Gruul. I was like, yeah, we could maybe do those too. And I was like, no, those are only 25. So like, if there was a 10-man version of those 2 raids, then hell yeah, I'd be sick to go do some TBC again. But I can't even, I don't even want to do 25 anymore, dude. Like, just give me a 10-player version in TBC for every raid, and hell yeah, like I'm down for some TBC.
I would do a 10-man Sunwell. That sounds good, actually.
Hell yeah. Let's
10-man
get some
Muru.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
and
legendary bow and a 10-man. Yeah.
Yes.
the one thing I will say that and then we'll move on, because I don't want to talk about MOP too much, but obviously I've been excited about it because I've been really enjoying myself the last few days. I've been playing like 18 hours a day, literally just like wake up, get online. You know, I've already leveled a few characters, been gearing up, been doing reps, been doing dailies, been doing Isle of Thunder. I went to the black market auction house and got my Brawlers Guild invitation. Like, I forgot how much content there is. You know, actually, when you look at Cata and what Cata added, I know it revamped the entire world and all the questing zones and everything, and that is what took the vast majority of development time for that expansion. But MOP is going to be really, I think, quite overwhelming for some people. You know, it is, there's fucking so much content, it's ridiculous. And people, I think, have probably forgot just how much shit it adds. Everyone thinks, like, gold challenge modes, that's going to be amazing. But, like, that's just a really small part that we haven't even had time to even get to yet. You know, there's so much other shit that we're doing that we ain't even got time to start gold challenge modes yet. But we will be. And if anyone's interested in joining, like, by the way, like, for those, I know a lot of you know me as a private server player anyway. If you're on my Discord, like, feel free to jump on Stormforge Season 2. Got a guild set up and that. Come and pump with us. That's it. That's me done.
Daleks in the comments did a really good comment. Can't wait for the MOP chat next year when Scotty tells us how excited he is for WOD.
I'm already excited for WOD. I'm already excited for WOD, mate. The
He's
WOD.
like, dude, I've been playing WOD all week, 18 hours a day. It's the best.
Yeah, I think the WOD raids are actually better than the MOP raids. Like,
no.
WOD had amazing raids. Mate, like, the thing is, I just play them all. Like, you know, obviously, it's no secret. Like, you know, I'm playing MOP, leveling all the characters, so I know the ins and outs of every class for videos, so I can then share it with everybody else before, you know, MOP Classic comes. Like, you know, there is that to it. But, you know, I was playing MOP Stormforge Season 1 like 2-3 years ago. when we were still playing TBC or some
I
shit.
think
So
the real reason is that you actually like Mop and you want to play
I
Mop.
love Mop.
I think that's the real reason.
yeah, exactly. Like Mop has always been
The
one of
videos
those.
aren't incentivizing me to open that server at all. You have to like it.
Oh, exactly. Because like, if it was about content, I'd force myself to play Season of Discovery. That's the thing, and I just can't do it, man. Like, it was great. Phase 1, Phase 2 was okay. Phase 3, fucking just lost me before it even started. I'll be honest with you.
Well, one thing that came out in MOP that I've been wanting for a couple of years in Classic was pet battles. Like, bring me some fucking pet battles in Cata. They can't come soon enough. I don't know what it was about it. I still play Pokemon Go on my phone. Like, something about the turn-based little, like, you've got 3 abilities and you try to min-max 3 moves. It feels fun to do.
I literally leveled my Paladin on Stormforge from 19 to 65 just doing pet battles. Not yesterday, the day before. I sat and done pet battles for about 12 hours. And I love it as well. And and it's another layer of content. Obviously, you're going and you have to go to raids to get certain pets and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Pet battles is fucking insane. Daleks, probably around, let me look at my calendar. Probably around November time, I would have thought. Mark it on your calendar. November time. Monk will probably be the first video, though. So I'd say first week of November will be Monk. Second week will probably be Feral Druid. Third week of November, Paladin.
All right, so are we ready for patch 4.1? Get the knowledge out there. What's coming?
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm just ready for it.
Did you have the Wowpedia or anything that you wanted to pull up, Scotty, or we gonna talk about it?
Not really. Yeah, I mean, there's not a great deal that gets added, but yeah, you boys take it away.
Do you want to go for it, Jerome? I know you did a little bit of research. I don't want to step on your research.
Get the main thing is the new. So it's kind of hard to know exactly what's coming because there's all these different features. It's like which phase gets which features, right? So I guess we can all agree that we're gonna get the new heroic dungeons. So I have never experienced these dungeons in Cata version. We're talking ZA and Zul'Gurub, right? Are they drastically different than they were back in TBC, or are we basically getting the same thing, but like a 5-man version?
That's up to Scotty.
Well, hang on. Sorry. Say that again. As in ZA and Zul'Gurub, like the
yes,
they're completely different.
That's the main. They're completely different.
Completely
so this is not going
different.
To be...
Like maps the same, like layouts the same, just bosses are different.
Layouts are the same. Hang on, I'm just thinking. Zolaman is exactly the same. Zul'Gurub is exactly the same as well. Maybe a tad smaller. So there might be like the odd sort of area that don't exist anymore. But overall, the maps are almost the same. But the bosses are completely different.
Kind of like what they do with like Wailing Caverns. They're just like part of it just got removed, but all the bosses I think were still in there.
Yeah, like you've got Zul'Gurub I could probably put some gameplay up. I've probably got a ZA time run from Whitemane and Zul'Gurub run that I can put on screen.
So we get the new Zul'Gurub and Zolaman, and I believe it's 353 item level gear. Is it? I'm trying to double check my old notes, but. Are these dungeons significantly harder than the typical heroics? Like, are they considered a real challenge, or are they sort of just like catch up for people that are behind in the game?
No, they're
what's the purpose of them?
They're a pain in the ass, mate. Yeah, 353 gear. That's right. The time run still exists in Zolaman, so you can get a bear. The difficulty is harder than the heroics we're doing at the moment. But the thing is, the heroics we're doing at the moment are not really that difficult. As in not to private server standards or obviously what we remember from back in the day. But yeah, Zolaman and Zul'Gurub's a step up. I mean, Zul'Gurub, you're going to see groups disband on the first boss. Like, genuinely, I mean that. You're going to get to Venoxis and groups will disband because they won't be able to do the Venom Maze. Or the tank will just take so much damage that you'll go through 3 or 4 tanks. Like, I think it's going to... it's a painful experience on private servers. That's all I can tell you. Like, I feel it might be the same here.
So can you queue up for these similar to like Dead Mines or something? Like, can you just like queue for them? Like,
They'll just
I
go.
don't- I
You
mean, I
can
don't
queue
wanna
for
get
them
vote kicked out of
specifically.
here.
You can queue for them
I don't want to get
specifically,
vote kicked.
but they will fall into the wider RDF. So if you queue for RDF, there is a chance that you'll get Zolgarub or Zolaman, but they do have a higher eye level requirement as well. So
Yeah, 346 required to random queue it to
mhm.
get 353 gear, which is 7 eye levels higher, which you probably already have a couple of those pieces, or 359 to get that 346 average. Like the loot eye level in there just doesn't make sense to me.
It would
Yeah.
be nice if they tweak some of that. We might get to that later, but it would be interesting. But I suppose they don't want to change too much with it.
So the main thing is like the bosses have mechanics, and punishing mechanics. Like they're not all hard. Like Zolaman, I'm thinking like I'd say Zolaman's probably easier than Zolgarub, if I'm honest. Like a timed run in Zolaman's going to be tight. You've got to be pumping, and you've got to be one-shotting the bosses. Whereas Zolgarub, but the bosses themselves are, I don't think, as mechanically challenging as Zolgarub. The first boss, Venoxus, is just a bitch. Like, literally, it's one of the worst bosses in any 5-man heroic I've ever done. And then you've got... I need to get the boss names up, because I can't actually remember the name of the boss where... He basically, you die and you get res. Mandakir. It's Mandakir, but it's...
Oh, the Raptor boss?
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm assuming he's still called Broodlord Mandakir, actually, thinking about it. But that can be a particularly challenging one as well, because your healer's got to know not to heal the person that's got the debuff. It's a bit like Chimeron type thing. They can die, but, until they drop below, like, 10% health or whatever it is, like, they'll just keep taking the damage, so you won't heal them until they get that low. The tanks just get one shot. Now the boss is just running around all over the place. There's a couple of bosses in Zolgarub that's just gonna be a bit of a shit show.
So, Mad Progger asked, isn't there a separate queue for ZG and Twilight Dungeons? And like what I see on Wowpedia is it says both ZG and ZA exist in a separate tier in the Dungeon Finder above the current level 85 heroic dungeons. Players can randomly queue for either dungeon by selecting the Rise of the Zandalari setting.
Well, not on private servers. Yeah, I mean maybe there will be on Classic, but from my from on White Main, I would say 100% there was no option for. I can't remember from fucking 2012 or whatever it was when we was playing. I can't remember. But on any private servers that I've been on, it just sits in the wider RDF, and you can queue for them specifically.
So on top of the dungeons, there's also the new quest lines, according to my notes that I made a while ago. And new 85 quest lines. Is there anything like that really you guys remember that stands out? I know Mad Progress talking about some kind of Mandakir quest line. Is this just like more dailies, or are they like a full-fledged quest line with something relevant to get?
I don't remember seeing quests.
There's no
being
quest.
added.
I mean, you've got the quests in
Really?
Zolgarub as in what you do at like level 30, if that's what you're talking about, as in actually in STV. I can't think of any. I mean, there's quests inside, a bit like Zolaman, where you get the bag. You get the bag quest. There's quests at the start of the raid. But I mean, there's nothing like overly exciting from memory, at least.
I do see that there's an updated quest chain for the Alliance in Winterspring. Players that are seeking the reins of the Winterspring Frostsaber should speak with some NPC at Frostsaber Rock. And I guess that's supposed to be kind of the equivalent of the Horde getting their... Is it a Raptor mount in Ungoro?
Is that not in already, though? Because is that not just...
That could have came in early, yeah.
Oh, I
That's
would
all
imagine
I really
that's
see
in.
about quests.
I mean, I would guess that all we're going to get in Phase 2 or Phase 1.5, whatever you want to call it, is basically just Zolgarub and Zolaman.
I think we might get the currency conversions too, like the Valor to Honor and the Honor to or the conquest of valor, whatever all those different things are. Justice to honor, conquest of valor.
Yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure when I saw that on the wiki. I was like, I'm not entirely sure if they'll do that then, but it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, that is
And
a
then
possibility.
And hopefully we get the Maelstrom crystals for those currencies as well.
Oh, you're saying much cheaper Maelstrom crystals.
Please, I was gonna get my 20 stats to chest enchant that cost 3 of them, and I was like, these things are still like 4k gold each, I think, something like that. I was like 12k for an extra 5 stats. I don't know if I could justify it just yet. I might still just, even though it's my best in slot chest, I'm like, plus 15 plus 20. How much am I?
So weird how the supply of those crystals is still so low. And I mean, I might never go away from 15 stats to chest. Like, will I ever have 20? I don't know. Maybe it just never happens. Never have those 5 stats.
Ooh, here was one of the big changes that I saw that I would love is the portals to each of the capital cities have returned to Dalaran and Shatrith. And when they got removed at the launch of Cata, I was like, I can only go to Orgrimmar now? Like, that sucks. So hopefully they bring back the Undercity. What's the other one? Did they have
They had
Thunderbluff was there as well.
Right?
They were all there.
Thunderbluff was there?
Yeah.
Did they not
Okay.
then
I
get
don't remember
removed
thinking that's
again
Thunderbluff.
though? Did they not get added and then then taken out
I don't
again?
know. They better be fucking in. Like, I'm tired.
That's the highlight of the patch. Forget the dungeons.
Yeah.
I just want to sit in Dalaran.
That's my my Hearthstone still. Like, I haven't changed it to Orgrimmar.
Yeah, why move it? Next patch, we can just will it into existence so we can pressure them.
Oh, but back to the ZG thing, Scotty. You asked an interesting question in your dev interview. You remember what you asked?
Yeah, if you'd be able to do the like Chromie time thing to go back and do the
Yeah.
old versions of it.
I like
How do-
that.
How do you think that might come about? Do you think there's a chance that they could, or?
No.
Ooh, ooh,
No. I mean, unless they've been working on it, which I don't know. Like, really, do you think they would? I don't. Me personally, you know, without, I'm not trying to be negative for the sake of being negative, but no, I just don't think they would. But you know, look at what they're doing with Season of Discovery. Like, are they really gonna take anyone away from Season of Discovery to add a Chromie time version of Zolgarov and Zolaman? Like, I just don't.
Like right there with that idea is the Titan runes, right? It's very likely they would do that. That could give us better catch-up gear to get into into Firelands, right? Wouldn't maybe they give us some, like, what, 359 would that be too much to get out of like a heroic?
Nah, 359 I think is fair for heroic. Even ZAZG, like, scale that shit up another.
Start dropping tier tokens.
six eye levels extra on that loot.
I'll be honest with you, 353 is very, very stingy for what it is. And unless we get some real watered down version where actually, you know, it is quite easy, then
Super nerfed.
yeah, like if it was a super nerf version, then whatever. But I honestly, I don't think Zolgarov and Zolaman are any joke. Apart from the last boss, actually. The last boss in Zolgarov is probably the easiest one out of all of them, which is, like, you know, quite surprising. But there's not really a lot going on there. Well, no, it's Jindo. So, but
The MC boss.
no, Jindo is in the old Zolgarov, and he's like the one that breathes fire and all that shit. Ain't he the one with all the skeletons and stuff? Is that not Jindo?
Yeah, he mind controls.
Yeah, but
He has the totem that MCs.
yeah, well, he's the last boss in Zolgar, the new Zolgarov, but it's just an ad fight. Literally, you stand under a bubble and you get berserkers that come in and they jump on random people, and you stand near a chain. They jump on the chain and break it. You nuke it down, and it's rinse and repeat 3 times. Like, it's a terrible fight. But
Can you just do them as many times as you want, though? Like, is it a daily lockout, or can I just, like, I want to do ZG 10 times today for, you know, some item or whatever? Could I just do it as many, like, for alt catch-up? Can I just hit it as hard as I want?
Well, it depends. Like someone said, like, if you know, will they have their own queue? Oh, is it Zanzil? I don't know. I'm shit with like vanilla named stuff. Fuck vanilla. if it's got its own queue, then, you know, as in where it's just the Zandalari heroics, then you'll just be able to queue and you'll get ZG or ZA, whichever one, and you'll just be able to spam it all day long. Yeah. But if it hasn't got the queue, then you'll only be able to queue for them specifically once and then hope that you get them when you're queuing for RDF. But I tell you now, when you queue for RDF, if you know, like if you just want to, I don't know, you just want to Valor cap quickly, or you know, when that is in the rotation and you queue and you get Zolgarab or Zolaman, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. You know, it's the worst thing in the world. Like, so actually, in terms of Classic, the best thing that devs could do is take it out of the wider RDF, have it sat on its own queue. So you, like, if you want to go and quickly Valor cap, you'll do the you know, the random heroics that we do now, because you don't want to be getting unlucky and getting Zolgarab and then Zolaman and then maybe Zolgarab again, you know, as your randoms.
And then Dead Mines and then
Dead Mines.
And then Zolgarab.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Isle of Conquest and then Strand of the Ancients and the random BGs over and over again.
That's a side note, but I feel like I got the one with the like people had to attack from the boat. I feel like I got that every single time I queued in Wrath. Yeah. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Well, what if, to encourage people, what if it was like a separate queue, you know, it was ZA, ZG in their own heroic category, but they also like doubled the valor that you would get bonus wise for randomly queuing for that. Since it is a catch up, it's going to help you get your valor cap faster. So if you want to risk it and do the harder thing, then you can get rewarded for it.
Yeah, I think that'd be fair. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, see, no issue. It deserves. It deserves. Well, it deserves double valor. Trust me. Until you start doing it, once you do it, you'll be like, "Oh, that's why he agreed with me." Because, like, honestly, when you're doing it as randoms or with randoms that actually need the 353 gear that drops in there, it's a very different experience to getting the boys together on disc and doing a quick Zolaman time run or a quick Zolgarab where everyone knows what they're doing. You go in there, you're geared, you smash it. Then it's painless. You know, you'd spam it back to back and not think about it. But when you get in there with people that have just got the eye level because they went and bought cloth gear that's sat in their bag that they can't even use, just to get the eye level to be able to get in, that's the true RDF experience, isn't it? That's what most people are going to be contending with.
My full PvP set isn't going to work out. You're saying if I take my fresh character and get a bunch of random pieces, I'm not going to one-shot every boss?
I think you're going to be hoping that you get a few people in there with you that can have more than just PvP gear. You know, and that's what you're looking for.
Why is there a vote kick being initiated against me? What is this? I'm going to Reddit. This is not okay.
Yeah. But to be fair, like they're both. Like, I'm not trying to scare people. Like, yeah, they're not like ridiculously hard. But like we all know, we've all had bad RDFs even in Cata, right? Like in you know, heroics where people are dying to stupid shit. Like then when you go into heroics where the bosses have got a lot more health, they deal a lot more damage, and they've actually got like quite punishing mechanics, it can lead to quite a frustrating time.
I feel like Go kicked me out of a dungeon once. I don't know if it was him or not, but a Boomkin initiated a vote kick against me, and I'm pretty sure it was you.
I've never in Classic initiated a vote kick. Never.
Me either, man. Let's check in with Scottejaye. Have you ever initiated a vote kick before?
I've initiated probably about 15 or 16 in the last 10 hours, but not on Cata. we just.
Well, if it's mob, it's different. You can do that.
Private server toxicity, mate. That's what it is. You kick people before they kick you.
Yeah, it's one of those survival games.
But yeah, I mean, Zolaman, Zolgarab, I'd say that's they really are the main things going with the phase. I can't think of anything else. You know, it's why they should just drop it now. Like, quite honestly, when I said earlier, I weren't being a prick when you said, like, are you ready for, you know, phase 2? I am. I'm not ready for phase 2 because, like, the content, you know, is cleared or anything like that. I mean, I'm ready for it because they should just drop it now. it will help people that are still progressing in raids. If those 353 pieces are going to be a decent upgrade, or another source of valor, or just whatever, like just more content even for me. I'll be doing mount runs every day, like in Zolaman. So to help other people in the guild get it, blah blah. So actually just giving us another source of gear for people that need it, catch up gear for alts. I know we're not that long into phase 1, but I'm kind of like, well, why wait? When is the right time to drop it, when all it is 2 heroic dungeons?
Can you farm herbs and mining nodes in ZG like you could back in original? No? Okay. That sounded like something that myself and Jerome would probably be interested in doing, going in there and as druids and just stealthing in and getting our herbs and mining goods.
It sounds like something Scotty would do, and then he'd make a video. He'd be like, "I've been doing this for 40 hours a day. I've been watching Netflix, and I've made 8 billion gold. I've just."
The thing I said no super confidently. Again, I'm going from private servers. It's certainly not something that I've done or seen or heard anybody else doing. So again, when it comes to classic, it is a different beast. I should probably at least put that out there. Who knows? Yeah, maybe there is herbs and mines in there, but I kind of doubt it. That's sort of a dead thing now, isn't it? When we've got to Cata, so I'd probably say no.
You're saying we're getting a comment that's suggesting a gamma mode of ZG and ZA. We just amp it up even more, just make it like the hardest set of dungeons ever. I like that.
Yeah, I want to have a heroic dungeon that gives me higher than 359 eye level for an alt. Like, it doesn't have to, like, just 6 or 7 extra eye level, so it's kind of in between 359 and 372.
That'd be great for my fire mage.
Yeah,
that doesn't exist yet, but will.
Send it before Firelands comes out. Like, get it in there in the phase 1.5.
I mean,
I like it.
There's not. I still the whole gamma situation. I still don't know what they're planning with heroic dungeons, or if they even know what they're planning. I mean, Zolgarb and Zolaman in some Titan rune fucking bullshit like that. That literally scares me and makes me never want to do it. Instantly, I'm like, just count me out. What do I want to do that for? It would have to be seriously rewarding. I mean, it'd be a great opportunity to touch on challenge modes, though. With Zolgarb and Zolaman specifically, where it was like those two were actually timed runs, because Zolaman's already a time run. That aspect of it is already there. So to just put a leaderboard in the game for what group has done it the fastest on the server, half of it is already in place. Then they could do the same for Zolgarb, but then have the other heroics that are not those two, just some sort of heroic plus where they drop normal raid gear or something. I don't know.
If we wrap up this idea package and ship it to Blizzard, we can still put on it the word discovery, because we'd be testing something out. Like, how does challenge modes feel in Cataclysm? Does it have a place? And yeah, ZAZG is a perfect place to test that out and discover how many players enjoy that kind of content and consume it. So yeah,
you're looking to trick the executives that think they're making season discovery, but they're really working on Cata. I like this.
Exactly. And no one will ever know.
I'm in. This is a great idea.
And then all of a sudden, we have level 60 ZG timed run in SOD phase 4, and we're like, "Fuck no, no, this didn't work."
We got mixed up.
Yeah. There was something else that we haven't touched on last week before it launched, or yet tonight, and that's the Midsummer Fire Fest. I got called out last night for not getting the Fire Festival buff for Raid, and I was like, I mean, I used to get those buffs, but I might get it for tomorrow because I got called out and I felt bad. But
all right, does either of you? We've all made event guides. Does anyone here have the fastest way to get the s'mores before my raid tonight?
Yeah, right.
I'm in a lot of trouble. People are noticing. They're starting to notice I didn't bring them.
I've not been getting any of those buffs before
no.
raid.
None of us have done it.
Like somebody was like, all you have to do is do the torch toss in Orkmar. I was like, that
Oh,
was
man.
fucking disgustingly stupid. Like, I don't know if I
Say,
want to do that again.
I'm gonna have to do the torch toss at the peak hours on the server.
Yeah.
There's like 11 people doing it. The same shadow for every torch is like intermixing. Okay, yeah, great.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need it.
You
Like,
do though.
come
If
on.
your guild doesn't, if your guild isn't, you're 13 out of 13. The rest of us have to get smorks. Just how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I've been getting the stamina buff just by being AFK, and
Yeah, we've been putting in a lot of work for that one.
Yeah, at least I have that.
A 3% crit. Yeah, true. That one too.
Yeah, huge grief. Yeah, yeah. And then when it goes, do you just wait till next year? I don't know. There's no point raiding, right? I mean, you might as well just wait
Yeah,
a year and then
I
start
can't
raiding
talk
again when it's
without
up
it,
again.
so.
Or just not bother because you don't need it. But anyway.
So the meta is to do the torch toss in a different city, apparently. I never ever considered that, but okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it in Orb,
Blood Elf
so.
Zone. No,
So we've also got all sorts of other stuff, right? You've got a hoon to kill. I like the way I said that. Hoon. He's got the most insane stamina scythe I've ever seen. Like, I don't know why it has so much stamina. Love an explanation of that.
And cloaks as well.
3 eye level.
353 cloaks.
Mhm.
I got to pull up this scythe. It's insane.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stamina on.
I don't know what why did they do that?
Have
If
you
it was
spent-
just a normal
Again, though, like with 353, like, do you not feel like that? Even those should have been, while we're talking about 353 gear from Zolgarb and Zolaman, like, why are they 353 when 359 gear is so accessible? Like, it would just make sense that it was all 359, right?
Yeah, and if they don't, like, I know I've gotten pushback in the comments, like Nulty and somebody else is like, no, like, don't adjust the eye levels. I'll agree to not change them if all of this loot can be BOE. Like, give ZA, ZG BOE loot, give Ahoon any other world events that come up, let it all just be BOE. So if you want to farm it on your main, trade it to your alt, cool.
If you want a 700 stamina scythe, there's no better place than the midsummer event.
Yeah, the glowy transpog scythe.
Have you started?
also,
Like, I
like-
genuinely haven't even queued for a home. I literally
No,
have
we
not
should.
even gone
Let's
and
all
done
make a
it.
point of doing it. We're slacking.
If the
Another
cloak
thing
was
is we
higher-
can get. I think it's between 3,000 to 5,000 gold. Riggs is bringing that up just from going to all the fires, but it's a lot easier because we have flying mount. So it's like, actually, if you're really broke and you don't know what to do, just go around and hit all the fires and make some money.
True.
Or do
I
what
might
we
do
do.
that
We just have one guy in the guild just go on and do it all for us, and he just takes 10% of the gold, and we get 90% of it.
Okay,
And that's
I don't
all.
know if-
That's all he does all day. Is
Your
just
brother,
sits
right?
there.
Yeah.
He just sits there.
Yeah, as long as they're related, you're good. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't know my brother was Chinese, but yeah, I mean, it was, weird childhood. No, we've been trying to get Stark to do it. Go knows who Stark is. Stark's been doing it on like 5 different characters. We're like, well, just log on our character and do it as well, and you can have 10% of the gold.
10%. That's like 300 gold. That's not worth it at all.
Yeah,
How long do you know how long it takes him to get a full character done? Is it like 5 hours or something? Like,
He's got millions of gold, by the way. Like, literally.
why
Like
is he doing it
millions. Yeah, well, that's it. That's why we're like, well, I mean, if you've just got time to waste, you might as well just do it for us. A bit of a joker. What else? Phase 1.5. I mean, I'd really like to talk about when you think it should drop. And like, when do you think is a good time for the proper phase 2? Like Firelands. Like, how long do we think is realistic? I know, like, there's varying progress on the call, varying progress. I'm sure people watching, we don't want it too long, but then we don't want it so quick that people feel like, they're missing bosses, and, like, how long with a 1-year cadence cycle of Cata. What's your thoughts?
I think ZAZG should come out like next week. It should have already been out, in my opinion, for the last 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks after Phase 1 launched, like ship it. Like give us that, because unless they do something with the gear, the eye level of it, I'm not gonna shut up about the eye level. It's garbage, but it would help people, I think, a little bit that are in pre-raid gear. They're doing their normal modes. They haven't got full 359 yet, so they can replace a little bit of their 346 gear with some ZG gear. But if it waits too long, then they'll already have their upgrades from the normal, and then even the more casual player wouldn't really have an incentive to go there other than the mount, I guess. Like, I know people like the mounts. Yeah, like ship that shit
Mount is
next week.
big.
It's got to come out before SOD Phase 4. Like if they wait for SOD Phase 4, which is at least another couple weeks, then it's way too late for this to come out.
The timeline that makes the most sense is you put out the ZAZG in like 2 weeks, SOD Phase 4 in like 4 weeks or 5, and then Firelands, you give SOD Phase 4 a bunch of time and put out Firelands. So everything like kind of works together. But then I guess you have to factor in War Within as well. So I don't know when how that fits in.
Oh, that's like August, right?
Yeah, that's kind of just like right where Firelands should be. So it's a little concerning.
Yeah.
Because I was on board with you. I was like, 2 weeks. And then, like, if it launched next week, 2 weeks for SOD Phase 4, and then a month after that for Firelands. So I'm thinking, like, 6 weeks away, I'd be fine with Phase 2 launching. And we're only 10 out of 13 heroic. And, like, at the earliest, like, I'd give you, like, a month after that as well. Like, whatever that is, 6 to 10 weeks, somewhere in there.
What do you think, Scotty? You have all the timelines. You've got the inside info.
Well, so I do things a little bit differently, like this time around compared to original Cata. Like I would, on the basis that there's not a great deal of content. I would put Zolgarb and Zolaman in, and I'd open the Molten Front as well, and I'd do those all at the same time, and. So it gives, it unlocks the dailies for Molten Front. You'll be able to get a 365 cloak, which, is still lower than what you can get in current tier. You can go and get 379 from Sinestra, 372 from Heroic. So, it's a nice sort of catch-up cloak, you could probably call it, going into Firelands. And it sort of builds some hype around Firelands. And I can't think of any reason that you actually need to go in there as part of the quest line. I'm pretty sure you don't really. Maybe right at the end. I can't remember the fight. The Molten Front sort of dailies farm too much, but I'm pretty sure you don't need to do any raiding at all for it. So, like, that would be quite cool to put that in as well, just for extra content. Because then, let's face it, who's really going to be that bothered about doing dailies when Fireland's there? And people are wanting to go into Firelands and raid on multiple characters because there's only 7 bosses and, Heroic Progress and, like, Heroic Rag, one of the most legendary fights literally in Cataclysm. I would get all the daily bullshit out before Firelands actually opens.
I mean, the loot from the rep is pretty insane. Like, there's some BIS loot from that reputation. I forget which piece it was. It might be a ring.
That's the wrong Alex. You're talking about. Sorry, Ian. You're talking about the wrong rep. That's the Firelands rep. That's not Molten Front.
Getting a lot of insight that it
different.
might be an October Firelands, which would be. I feel like that's way too late, but.
Well, you wouldn't be able to get the ring, like the cloak. The 365 cloak comes from doing the Molten Front quest line. The 391 ring and the 378 cloak, and you can get 378 belt as well, I believe. Like, that comes from inside the raid. The vendor is in the raid, so you wouldn't have access to those until the raid physically launches.
Somebody said you had to clear all the Hyjal quests in order to unlock the other daily quests. Is that right?
You have to do a vast majority of it. Yeah, there's a lot of Hyjal that you need to do. Maybe all of it. It's been ages since I've done that, but yeah, you have to do the vast majority of Hyjal.
So if you leveled up your character and do your Hyjal quest, get out there now.
This feels like a personal attack.
Oh, did you not do your quests, Jerome?
You know me. I've been busy. You know what I've been doing?
I started off the phase, like the launch. I was in flight form outside, like Wintergrasp, like right on the edge of the zone. And as soon as the zone opened up, I flew in there, and I was like the first person going through all the Hydral quest on launch, and it was sick. So I completed it all. I've got my Mountain Hydral badge of honor.
Look at you.
Yeah. And everybody else was already 85, and I got to 82 questing. So,
So the thing is, so the vendor's up outside, is it? Okay, that's good to know. I've not been and looked. I kind of feel like the Molten Front dailies had a different rep. I need to log on Whitemane and have a look. It's like you would go and trash farm to get Avengers of Hydral. I feel like the Molten Front was a different rep altogether, but I'm just like trying to look into that now.
yeah, I didn't remember there being another rep. I remember it.
Yeah, Lee, it's two different reps, isn't it? Yeah, it's not the same thing. So yeah, it's completely irrelevant about the raid gear. Because I'm like, yeah, it's definitely two different reps. So yeah, it's kind of irrelevant. You'll get 365 cloak like that. That's what you're gonna get if they open it early. No other benefit to Firelands at all.
Is that the cloak we could get on the beta? Because I remember getting a cloak through a quest line, and I had to go to all the different zones like Vashir, and I had to do this like RP event and kill stuff. I had to go to Hydral and do something, but it wasn't a daily quest. I just remember
I'm
getting
just
a cloak.
looking now. It's marks of the world tree that you get from doing the quests. I can put it on screen so you can see what I'm looking at. I was going to say, because like there's absolutely no way I would have been rep grinding to get it if I could have been doing dailies. You know, going to the pain of doing rep runs. But no, yeah, when you're progressing all through, like opening the portal, defending the world tree, all of that. You might get a tiny bit of rep. I'll check on Wellhead in a minute. But you're getting marks of the world tree, which is granted by Guardians of Hydral, can be used to purchase reinforcements in the Invasions of Firelands. You know, it's this currency that you're using for things with the rep. But if I open that link in a new tab, what's it called? Enduring the Heat. Yeah, use carry on talking, and I'm just going to look and make sure that it doesn't give raid rep. Because you might get a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to worry about.
Yeah, what's the name of the rep then? Like you're getting marks of the world tree, but what's the
Guardians of Hydral is the Guardians of Hydral is the rep we get now. As I say, Avengers of Hydral is the rep that's in the raid. They're two different reps.
I figured there was a different name for like Alliance versus Horde for this new faction.
35 daily into the fire. So if I look at into the fire,
That sounds like a metal song name. Into the fire
I like that.
by Trivium. I don't know.
I listened
Don't
to
you think that
that other thing you told me to listen to, by the way. Ice 9 kills. That's good, that.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was good.
just the fact that you said it's only a 7 boss raid, I mean, maybe they're just gonna want to put the dailies out there to kind of pad the content out. Like they don't usually deviate too much from that. Where like they like that feeling like there's more than just the raid coming out. Like how ZA and ZG is a little underwhelming with just the raid, just the dungeons. It's nice when they have extra quests and dailies and stuff. So even if it makes the most sense, and you guys have had some great timeline switches over the years that they never end up doing because they make a lot of sense, but they just don't want to deviate from the patch, the original idea.
The guys who are saying in like Blow, it doesn't. It gives Guardians of Hydral. I'm looking at every single quest, literally every single quest. Every daily, and all of them give Guardians of Hydral, not Avengers of Hydral.
Does it feel like Sunwell? Like, does it feel sort of like the daily area, and then you have the raid? Is it sort of like that Sunwell Island? Because that was a really fun island.
Oh yeah, the island was pretty sick.
Is it like if it's that sick? I'm really excited for Firelands.
It was sick that we could do it. I remember it taking our server a little bit longer than other servers to unlock like jewel crafting like patterns or something, and I was like, well, this part sucks. Like,
Yeah, our server was really fast, so it felt great. Looking down on your server, it was really fun.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, you guys haven't gotten it yet.
I was out there doing my part. I was doing the dailies.
I was not doing my part.
I was.
Sweaties.
What was I doing it for? When there was a really good druid staff, wasn't there? I think that's the only reason I was doing the Sunworld dailies. You could get them with badges
like
of justice. It was like 200 badges of justice or some shit for a weapon, if I remember rightly.
Is the main takeaway from this podcast that we just want to play TBC again for some reason? I don't know why, but we just do.
Oh, it is the second
no
time
idea
it's been
why.
brought up.
Yes, I really want to play it now. I don't know why. It was really good. I was happy the whole time I played it.
But yeah,
So-
just to confirm, because I have been looking into it a lot more, and like you can see, it's Guardians of Hydra rep. I've looked at nearly every quest on this list, and every single quest is Guardians of Hydra, not Avengers of Hydra.
And everybody's already exalted with them anyways. So like the quests, it's only for that cloak. Like that's our only benefit.
Well, no, because you get mark of the world tree, which is where you can then buy. You can use the currency, and it's currency for. Can I switch that to Cata? It's not in the game files yet, so it might not show. No, so I need to use retail. What's it currency for? Yeah, so you can get a ring from favors of the world tree, a belt. Yeah, there's bits. I don't know what eye level these are actually meant to be. Gauntlets of Living Insidium. Let's have a look. There's loads of shit that you can get with it, but it's not like people are not going to be getting getting raid gear if that's what they're expecting. 365, yeah, it's 365 gear. It's like catch-up gear. So I said the cape that you get from doing the quest line is 365, and the shit that you're going to be able to buy with the tokens is 365 as well. So
Yeah, so make all the ZAZG stuff that same eye level. 365.
yeah,
Fucking
you
send
could
it.
I like that.
you could make that all 365, but this is what I mean. This is why, like, I think they should just they should launch the Molten Front stuff at the same time and call it a catch-up phase. You know, it's a catch-up phase to get everybody ready for Firelands. Like being able to farm 365 gear on alts and that would be perfect. Once Firelands is out, who wants this shit? You'll be able to go and do Firelands normal 10-man and get 378 gear. At which point, all of this is kind of like it's locked behind a lot of dailies with no real reason to do it. At least, like, you know, even people that are doing heroic raiding now might be like, oh, you know, I could really do with a ring. You know, it's 365. It's nearly as good as a 372 heroic ring. You know, there's reason for everybody to go and do it rather than just alts, just people that need gear on fresh characters and shit like that. So I would put this in with phase 1.5/phase 2.
All
Or
right,
just
Scott,
put it out early. Let's just give us a couple of weeks of it. And it would make sense.
You've been scaring me, Scotty, with agreeing with me on a couple points tonight. I'm gonna shoot another one in your direction and see if you agree with this one too.
All right.
Should the mark of the world tree items be BOA? I think they should. I'll go ahead and give you my answer. I think that you should only have to endure doing these dailies on one character, and it should be just like archaeology items, and it should be BOA.
Kind of indifferent.
What do you think, Jerome?
I'm all for BOA, but if it's that or raid logging, I like people being in the game at least. So yeah, again, indifferent. I don't know why. Just I feel like I should feel strongly, but I don't.
Oh, I got big jugs on my side. That's all I needed.
Yeah, I don't. The thing is, I don't think it's a bad thing. But I also, like I've said loads of times before, I'm not a fan of sort of things taken away, like, you know, giving with one hand and then taking away from the other. You know, if it's less, because there's a lot of gear here, you know, that you could get where it, like, overall there's trinkets, offhands, rings, boots, belts. Like, there's a lot of gear, and if that now means no one's going to touch tier 11 anymore, you know, like, so those pugs are going to sort of dry up. Because all the mains are just, you know, they're just getting BOA gear on their main to send to their ult and just skipping straight into Firelands. But then at the same time, I understand Firelands will be the current content. Most people are just going to want to get straight into there. Yeah, that's why I'm indifferent. Like, I see it from both sides. If it was BOA, cool. Like, I would only want to do this grind once. Quite honestly, I'm not going to be going on and doing the bloody molten front of multiple characters. So if I had the option to have them BOA, of course I'd fucking use it, you know. So yeah, I didn't disagree with you. You're 3 for 3, mate.
I'm gonna find
you're on a roll.
I will disagree with you. I've changed my mind.
Thank you.
I've changed my mind. You know what? We should have to do all the dailies on every character. That's great. I like it.
But what Nolte just said is right. You know, that's the thing. Like, he don't like handouts. If the gear's good enough for me to do it twice, I should do it twice. You know, like that. That is the thing.
Motivational aspect.
I think
it's like
if it was
you're getting something really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think if it was like 365, just feels a little bit. I think that's what it is. It feels a little bit high to me to be BOA. If it was 3.5, if it was 3.53, shit. Like, yeah, all right. But I would probably say, yeah, why not? That maybe 3.65 is just a little bit too high. I'd need to look into it a lot more.
High. Yeah, it's 6 extra eye levels than the 359, which you can get for almost every single slot at this point. Like, yeah.
Yeah. But it is apparently
Double the digging. I like it.
The item's sold so it's sold for gold. Yeah, once you've unlocked the vendor, you can just buy the stuff for gold. I need to look into the Molten Front a lot more. It's not something that I would like. I've probably done it once in original Cata. Like, there's no way I would sit through all these dailies on private servers. Like, no fucking chance. So yeah, I need to refresh my memory on exactly how all of that works.
Oh, the Tolbarad trinkets. Imagine if you could do it once and get all the shit. I mean, imagine doing the dailies in, what's it called? Deep Home one time, and then you can get your shoulder enchant on every character. How lame would that shit be?
They'll never do that. They would never.
They did do that. Fuck.
Well, I had to do the Tolbarad dailies twice. Obviously, I'd done it on the Paladin for the DPS trinket and the tanking trinket.
Well, that takes, like, what, 5 days if you do every single quest?
Yeah, it was only a couple of weeks, and I weren't doing them every day for the tanking trinket. It was just if I had time and I was bored, I went and done them. But I quite like the Tolbarad dailies.
How many Molten Front days would you have to do to get all of the loot from it?
Mate, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna have to look into it myself because I can't remember. So.
I thought somebody had said it during.
Adventurers are tasked with earning, so you need to get 20 marks of the world tree to be able to go through to the next part, and that can be completed within a day, apparently. Then you get a set of dailies open. Once 20 marks have been collected, the area transitions to the next phase. Then you need 150, and you can get 12 to 14 marks a day. So that's now going to take you another, 13 days, 12, 13 days, whatever that's going to be, before it goes to the next bit. So, yeah, 2 weeks to complete that section. Then you need to do it all again. You're talking, to me, it looks like a good 3 or 4 weeks of dailies. And then when you complete the final 3 tasks, you get 3 further progression. Then it unlocks the vendors who sell 365 gear for gold. And then the writs of commendations are sold as well. So the only thing the marks of the world tree are then useful for is rep with the factions. So like Orgrimmar, Stormwind, you know, all the city factions. So you'll be able to spend marks of the world tree that you get on that, and you'll be able to buy 365 gear for gold.
So I see Endorphin says 40 days. Chris says Wildhead says 29 days.
Yeah, I would say
that's a long time.
I'd say
Multiple
Chris.
tunes.
I'd say Chris is right. I'd say around 29 days. Looking at what I just looked at, you know, you're looking at like 2 weeks for the first bit, a week for the next bit, maybe a week for the bit after that. That sounds about right. But then at that point, if you've done like a month of dailies every day, you know, to get all of this done, I would then have absolutely zero issue you being able to buy them and they're BOA. That's a big time investment in a 1 year expansion. Like, really, are we saying that people would do, you know, like if you had to do that on 2 or 3 characters, like that's three months worth of dailies, you know, if you used to just do them on a character at a time? Like, no, I would kind of actually be on board with that being looked at.
Yeah, I think the part where it's the cadence is so much faster, we have to consider that everything needs to be sped up. I mean, that's the downside of having such a fast expansion. If it's going to be 1 year, you can't have the dailies be taking up a third of that time or whatever it is. It's too much.
All right, here I go trying to find the middle ground with McNulty. What if they just increase the drops or the amount of marks that you get for each quest?
Well, like it said 7 days would be fine. 7 to 10 days would be fine. So yeah, if they just they doubled,
Like
tripled
it, yeah.
Because that's basically what they've done with Tol Barad. Like the Tol Barad dailies are not meant to be how they are. Yeah, they sped that up pretty much, probably by ×3. So yeah, if they done the same with this, then that's cool. They don't need to be BOA. It's only going to take you a week to get it done on a character. Then that's cool. But it would need to be sped up. Again, I didn't realise how bloody long this shit takes. Like, honestly, because I'm not someone who does dailies unless there is like a really big carrot at the end of it, which obviously my Rep Paladin, I needed the trinket. I wanted it for prot as well. I wanted it for prog, so I wanted to use it as a 1 minute cooldown on things like Crackle and whatever else. And I think it's going to be useful in Firelands as well. So like I had to sit and do it twice. But if that took a month, there's fucking no way I would have done it twice. Like absolutely zero chance that would have happened. But when it's only a week, it's like, that's all right. Do it for a week, get one trinket. Do it for a week again, get the other trinket. Job's a good one. But yeah, I think that needs looking at, and I'm glad we looked at it. I know it technically don't come till 4.2, but I do really, really, really believe after having this conversation that it should come with Zolgarb and Zolaman.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that as well.
I'm just
especially because once you do ZA and ZG, I mean, it's just going to be the exact same patch for like until October theoretically. A lot of people are saying October for Firelands, so that's a long time to wait. It's kind of like Wrath, like post Lich King almost. Like that's how long it would be.
Why aren't you throwing torches up in the air right now, Jerome?
Well, I have to cook the fish feast for the guild first. I didn't know you guys would be able to see that I'm doing this. I don't know. I don't think I set up my OBS properly. I don't know why you're seeing this.
It's cool. It's nice.
You're not supposed to know.
Yeah, it was a great reminder. Like, oh yeah, this guy's getting ready for raid.
Yeah.
I'm not. Don't worry. Everything's great over here.
Is there anything else we want to? Is there anything else that you'd like to see now that sort of sparked off a conversation? We have only got about 15 minutes. This is going to be one of our shorter podcasts because people have got time constraints. Some of us have got mop leveling to do. Is there anything else you'd like to see in the phase on the basis that there's not a lot of content?
I think the gamma modes for everything that isn't ZA and ZG, if they're going to put those in, this is the best time to do it. Give us at least 359 gear from the gammas. I think that'd be amazing. And yeah, other than that, I don't really have anything specific. Or maybe the AoE looting that you wanted. So I've seen some Reddit posts, so that's like not out of the question. Like, yeah. I don't really know how that works because I didn't play retail. You just like walk around and the loot just like goes into your bag or what?
You still have to click once. Like it doesn't just automatically go into your bags, but like you AoE a pack down and then you click one time and everything's looted. You don't have to sit there click every single individual mob. And that's how it was on the private server that I played a year ago on Whitebeam. It was AoE loot, and I was expecting that to come in Cata. And then on the beta, it wasn't AoE loot, and I was like, well, this fucking sucks. I got to click everything again. So yeah, I'm a big fan of some AoE loot. Bring that shit in.
I know Scotty wants it too, right?
I'd like AoE looting, but also what Mad Progger just said. This is something that we was talking about earlier. So while we're talking about future phases, it does kind of tie in at least. Like we've been talking about what we're going to do for our raid team. We had a guild meeting last night and was talking, like we want to push hard. We're not like going for world first or any of that shit. Like none of that matters to us. But we just want to go in and clear week one and have a good time. Obviously with Firelands we want to clear in the first couple of hours because there's only 7 bosses, so we're already talking about how we can change our comp, what we're going to do, and for those of you that watch me stream, obviously I raid in that particular team on a rep paladin, and I'm talking about going warrior instead, so arms warrior, because it's going to fit in the comp really, really well, and having pro off spec. And then we've been talking about the whole, but like, with prop being a meme at the moment, and like, because I've slagged off the raid leader, obviously, which is Jay, about wanting to go warrior before. I think when we're sorting the comp out for tier 11, first of all. But I think that Blizzard do need to look at the tanks. And I think doing it before Firelands is the perfect time, having it ready for Firelands, or even looking at potentially doing something with the tanks for when the next phase drops, when Zolaman and Zolgarb comes out and that. So I'm sort of tinfoil hat working and being like, well, I'm going to go warrior because I believe that Blizzard will fuck up whatever they try to do, and
overtune it.
Yeah, and the tanks that are dog shit now are going to end up being god tier. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go warrior and do a bit of pro off spec, and we'll see how it goes. Thinking that they'll do something where it's going to make them crazy, because that's what they normally do, right? They don't just they try to balance things, and then one of them ends up fucking broken. So I'm kind of trying to lean in heavy on warrior for Firelands, but we'll see. I might get forced to carry on playing paladin. But
you never know. They might just nerf warriors. It's hard to know what they might do.
Yeah, it is hard to know. But that is do you guys think that they need to address the? Because I don't feel like there's a healing, let's call it god comp. Holy Paladin Disc Priest is great. Resto Druid Disc Priest is great. You can mix and match. Resto Shamans are in a really good spot. For people saying Resto Shamans are going to be dog shit. Actually, Resto Shamans are fine. You can get away with any comp of healers.
The Holy Priests are like the only ones kind of lagging back. But they did specifically say in one of the interviews, it might have been yours, that they were going to look into doing class balancing, or at least a little bit of it. If something's like really outlier, and that outlier would be Prout Warriors. So I think you're on the right track. Are there any DPS that you think need increases as well? Like, Frost Mages, but that's not really. I know one of the only 4 Frost Mages, and he's very good, but I don't know if he needs like a whole patch just for him.
No, I don't think there's many DPS that need a great deal of attention. If I'm honest, we looked at Warcraft logs earlier, and it's not that bad. Like, let's just see how Firelands tier and gear, and it will play a part in all that. But I think tanks. Is there anybody that doesn't run a Blood DK? Like, I feel like you are at a big disadvantage if you don't run a Blood DK, which is not a good way to be. Even though I know what people who play Blood DKs are gonna kick off, and they're gonna be like, well, that was the same as in Wrath when it was prop paladins. It's like, well, yeah, it was, but that didn't make it right. Just because that was the case. I feel like the tanks is something that they need to address. Going for a more active mitigation, the more retail, like what they've done. Blood DK pretty much revolutionized the way tanks work going forward. It's only Cata where the other tanks are kind of a little bit fucked, because they've got the more old school tanking sort of toolkit, whereas Blood DK's got the more Mop, Wad, Legion style tanking. Do you know what I mean? So, what are your thoughts? I don't know. Either of you, like, do you think no, they're
Buff
fine?
Warrior, I like it. Yeah. I played a lot, not to name drop. I played a lot with C Dank and his Brat Warrior. He's very good, but it definitely. I mean, I'm sure he'd love some buffs. It feels really bad to play a class and be like rejected from groups just because you're even thinking about playing it. That's kind of terrible. I think healers are in a really good spot. I would say Resto Druid's a little bit weaker, but all the Resto Druids would hit me with bricks, so I can't say that. They love it. So I would say, yeah, I just buff Brat Warriors. Anything else? I can't think of anything else to buff, but
I was just trying to look at like what buffs that like blood versus prot brings to a raid, and it's not really that game breaking if all of a sudden prot warriors were outperforming blood DKs, and then you brought that over a blood DK.
So you kicked all the blood DKs. I love this.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like that's fine. Like I don't think it would cause like huge like roster changes or anything like that. You just swap 1 for 1 if you were in a 10-man group, and you might be okay. Or even if it was the warrior as like the off tank, like just let there be everything can off tank very, very well.
Yeah.
There was one other thing with like bringing something forward or like changing something that I was thinking about was removing the cooldowns for the crafting stuff, like the tailoring cloths. I don't know what other stuff had. That's the only profession that I have that has a cooldown on it. So like, let me make my dream cloth and get all of my 26 slot bags made in a day.
Yeah, it's a really weird system with the tailoring. Did they ever do it that way again? The way they did it in Cata? It's like you get multiple CDs, right? That are all on different timers. Is that it?
Yeah, there's like 5 different cloth, and each
it's so weird.
6 or 7 day cooldown on it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does stay the same going forward again, though. Like you know that you sort of set a precedence for tailors. You know, where there is a way to make more, but you are limited. If you don't want to, like, you know, at the moment it's Chaos Orbs, then in MOP it's Spirits of Harmony. Even in WOD, I think it's a similar system as well. To be fair, but yeah, I mean, it gets a lot easier when Chaos Orbs are not BOP. You know, that's the main thing at the moment.
That really is the big change. Why don't we let's switch to that next phase? Do you know historically when that switched? Was it really like Dragon Soul? But there's no way it was that late.
I feel like it was Dragon Soul.
I already don't know what to do with my orbs, but I'd love to sell them. I would do a lot more dungeons if I could sell them.
See, I can't.
Be like,
I'm fairly sure it's Dragon Soul because in Firelands they're still useful. Yeah, so it would be. But I mean, in Firelands, if they was to do it, sort of, yeah, why not? The only thing I'm trying to think of is I'm just going to look it up now. If we went to, I need to look at the tailoring crafted gear, you know, in future phases. Because that's the only thing. It's like, well, if they removed it, is that going to have an impact on crafted gear in the next phase? You know, I don't remember there being any recipes though. But I'll look that up. Professions.
It doesn't look like it was, or the cooldown might not have ever been removed. All I see that it was added in patch 4.0.3a.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I don't remember it ever being removed.
But all the other cooldowns got removed up to this point. At some point in the expansion, I thought.
Yeah, but you technically you've got a way to make more, aren't you? Like they're not being removed as such, but Chaos Orbs when they become BOE, it kind of is removed in a way. But I've got, they wouldn't be able to do it because I'm looking at the recipe for like Boots of the Black Flame, for example, and they need Dreamcloth. So you can't remove, it's 378 gear. Like you can't remove it you wouldn't be able to remove it until Dragon Soul anyway.
So what is Dream of Destruction? That doesn't have a cooldown for that one that requires the 5 Chaos Orbs?
Well,
what you
Maelstrom
mean?
crystals would get cheaper anyway because Zolgar and Zolaman. Like, you're going to get people going in there with an enchanter and getting shitloads of crystals. Like that's going to come down massively when they launch.
That's like the best pitch for ZA and ZG is that our enchants are finally going to be cheap.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like we
they
don't
will.
use
Really
the
like
actual
that.
gear. We just use the ZA ZG gear to enchant our current gear.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris
Higher eye
is
level.
Chris is
funny.
saying the CD's still there in Dragonflight. By the way, as I say, I don't remember it ever being removed. But again, with good
I just
reason.
thought of a meme. One of you can make this. It's like the Rick and Morty butter passing robot, and it's this piece of ZG loot. And it's like, what is my purpose? And it's to make a Maelstrom crystal. That's your purpose.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
But like I say, it stays useful all the way go. So that would make it very difficult. You know, the dream cloths are like the reagent for gear throughout the entirety of Cata. I mean, the fact that it's still there in Dragonflight, Chris, is a little bit ludicrous. Let's be honest, but because even like when you go up to getting the 397 gear, that's still Dreamcloth. So yeah, it would fuck up the crafting market if that was removed. Any more? Because we've got about 3 minutes left of Jerome, and then man needs to raid. Look, he's in there. He's ready to
already pulling
pump.
trash.
He wants to get his stream
They don't-
on and show
They
everyone what
really
it's
don't
done.
need me, I don't think. I don't think I'll make much of an impact in here.
You're actually stood in
somebody's
front of the
locked off
boss, aren't you?
No, don't worry about it.
Go on, we'll round us off, Go. I know it's been a short one, but, it's still been an insightful one. It's really gave me some things to think about around Molten Front, like the future phase, and I think it's been interesting.
No, really interesting. I learned a lot from it, which I thought I would come in and teach people things, and then it's just, okay, I'm learning. I'm in,
Yeah, we
I'm
all
in
learned, yeah.
4.2 mode. I'll
But yeah,
take it.
Jerome, thanks for hanging out again, man. I think this is your third or fourth time on. I think you might have been our first guest. Don't quote me on that one.
It's
You were
possible.
one of the first guests that we've had on.
No,
the show.
I think, oh my God, I think they're pulling something.
Yeah, no, it's
Are
always a pleasure, Jerome. When you've got a bit more time, like when you're not raiding, and yeah, we'll have to get back together and we'll slap a show together, Go, and we'll get Jerome
Absolutely. Yeah, we could do a mop focused one next time.
back. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not
We'll all
quite
play and reconvene.
not quite ready for mop content yet, but if we start the
No,
mop
no.
content maybe next Saturday.
Yeah, that's the perfect time.
Yeah, what is mop and why should you be hyped? We'll start that next week. But yeah, Jerome, where can people find you? I mean, are you going to stream the raid?
You know what? At this point, I don't know what's happening. I'm getting error messages. I don't know what we're pulling. You can find me on YouTube. No Hit Jerome, I think. It's on Twitch sometimes. But yeah, everyone. Okay, look at what just happened.
Not the what?
Everyone died. Our tank's dead. All the DPS are dead. Don't worry about it.
Damn, your healers are slacking.
Yes, I think they're yelling at the healers right now. I see.
Are all your healers on a
some angry
podcast
messages.
or something? Cool. Okay, so you can find No Hit Jerome on Twitch and YouTube. I've already got his YouTube in the description, but I will put his Twitch in there when the video finishes processing and everything. And
And
obviously,
after this raid, I'll be looking for a new guild. So if anybody needs me, I'll be here.
Who's recruiting a resto druid?
and Go, where can people find you? I mean, your details are always in the description, obviously.
YouTube.com/@classicgo. ClassicGho. That's where you can find me. All your balanced druid needs and dreams. Not dream cloth because that has a cooldown of 7 days, but all other dreams you can find on the YouTube. Yeah. Sometimes Twitch, same thing. Classic Go.
And me, while content on YouTube is a little bit on the slow side, just because there's not that much to talk about at the moment. Definitely going to be doing a lot of Phase 2. Obviously, prep, and I'll be honest with you, I think there might be a Molten Front video in the works after tonight, and the what's up, what should come in Phase 2 and all that. But yeah, Kick, obviously, kick.com/Scottejaye if you want to come over and watch me getting drunk and streaming.
Hell yeah.
So thank you
That
guys.
sounds good.
back on Saturday, we will line up a couple of guests. I want to get Chunk on. Because he's starting to pump mage content. He's been slacking because he's been obviously playing with me constantly. But yeah, like we already think we should get Chunk on and maybe Jay. Have a nice lad sesh at the weekend, Saturday night. Me, you, Chunk, Jay, few beers, talk some shit.
We can hash out who deserves the staff prio. We're gonna have an Ellie shaman, we're gonna have a mage, and we're gonna have a boomkin. So yeah, let's duke it the fuck out on legendary.
I really like the idea that you all have to like Shark Tank pitch your reason why you should get it.
Yeah.
And like justify it to Scotty.
Well, I think Firelands. I think we should do a Firelands episode on Saturday. Let's get together, get Chunk and
cool.
Jay, and we'll talk about the Firelands bosses and what people need to know. What are the easier bosses, harder bosses, key loot, all that sort of stuff. Just everything Firelands.
Hell yeah, sounds good.
Sweet. All right. Well, cheers, guys. Jerome, enjoy your raid. Thank you for coming on again. And I'll see you soon.
Yeah, man. Good luck on the rest of that raid, Jerome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's already off to a great start, as you can see. So, I see a countdown timer. Wait, what? I gotta go.
All right,
Thank you,
take it
guys.
easy.
See you,
Cheers,
bro.
mate. Bye. And goodbye, everyone in chat. The cameras are going to be messed up. Just that's what it is. We'll see him on Saturday.
Saturday, probably 5 o'clock, if that's cool, because I got raid at 8, so that gives us 3 hours. 10 o'clock your time.
10. Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. An hour earlier than tonight, yeah.
Perfect. All right, well, goodbye, everyone in chat. Thank you for any super chats, all that stuff. Follows and
I only had to
anything
do
else.
10 push-ups tonight. That was amazing. You were thinking that people were going to be super chatting left and right, making me do push-ups. 10. I knocked those out. I didn't start sweating, or I stopped sweating like 5 minutes after
you done 10, and I found it extremely distracting. So I'm glad there weren't any more, because I struggled talking to Jerome while you was doing push-ups.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a bit of a dumpster back there. I don't know if you saw the booty up in the air as I was going up and down.
I'm gonna probably end it here.
Right here.
I'm gonna give it a second just to make sure that the old dumpster comment was in there, and then I'm gonna end it. So in my head at the moment, I'm sort of counting to 5.
Yeah.
Christ, it's really hard to count to 5, and I shouldn't have closed my eyes. I've had bare